We are live. I think we're live. Let's check and make sure we're live. Danny, why's the hair not slicked back today?
I just got out of the shower. It's also early Sunday morning. Just keeping the hair down, a little casual type day.
Did you remember this morning that there was London football today?
I did. I've been up since 8:45.
It was about 9:20 and I was, drinking my coffee. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I forgot." I saw some type of tweet that was like, "Oh yeah, we have Sunday morning football, which is beautiful." And Justin Jefferson just had a beautiful pass. And he's almost down. But anyways, let's get into some of the Giants questions. What's going on, my people? We're going to start answering questions in a second. Did you see the good morning post today? It really did trigger a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm surprised this one triggered people. But usually when it does that, that means the morning tweet did its job.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that means it's effective. It all started, by the way, with the Bears. Like that was the first ever one was the Bears. Um, like I had one person like being like, "This is disgusting," blah blah, and I look at their post and their page, and like they have like pictures holding fish. I'm like, well, what's the difference, man? Like you murdered that fish. And by the way, we didn't actually kill the bear. Daniel Jones did.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, we did not. We had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, it's not our. We didn't tell Daniel Jones to kill that bear. But anyways, we'll get into some of your questions here in a second. This is one your weather report's going to be put to the test today. Everybody's saying it's going to rain, but they also said it's going to rain week 1 versus the Titans. So I have faith in the Danny weather models until they fail me.
It's still like there might be like some light rain, but it's not gonna be rated throughout the whole game. That's the one key thing. The wind took me by surprise.
JD, will Jalen Smith make a difference in the run defense today? Absolutely. Because here's the thing: is one, Jalen Smith is still can fly around a little bit. I don't know. I don't think Jalen Smith is going to be like a good linebacker for the Giants, but it's going to be an upgrade over what they've had. Like Austin Calitro has been an issue. He's been an issue for the Giants whenever he's been on the field. McFadden has done some like smart stuff and made some good plays, but he also does have a struggle taking on blocks and deconstructing them. Obviously, that was, that's part of the Michael McFadden's scouting report. But yeah, because like we can't have anything worse than what Austin Calitro has produced for the Giants.
No, yeah, I mean, anytime we can get Austin Calitro off the field, I think that's a win for the Giants defense. But yeah, Jalen Smith, obviously, we'll be excited to see how Wink Martindale uses him in his first game up here, but there is no doubt in my mind Jalen Smith will provide better linebacker play than what we've had for the first 3 weeks of the season.
I really don't know what to expect from Jalen Smith. I know he did some stuff for the Giants last year, but that was kind of at a point where everybody was checked out, and it was just a totally different defense than what Wink Martindale runs. Like this guy, when we were doing this podcast in 2019, I remember that Monday night game versus the Cowboys, and my takeaway is like Jalen Smith was the best player on the field today, like or tonight. Like he was awesome and just completely fell off. The Cowboys obviously cut him, then the Packers cut him, and then the Giants got him last year, and no one signed him during the offseason. So I don't have any huge expectations for Jalen Smith, but I absolutely expect him to be much better than Austin Calitro, which it is an Austin Calitro revenge game though.
Yes, also Cleveland's got to get that revenge tonight.
Let's see. You think Kayvon and Azeez will play more on rundowns? They did not versus the Cowboys, and we got blasted with Zimenez on the edge. Yeah, they both had some rough edge reps as well. I think those guys are just going to play more in general. Like both of their games last week were better pass rush production than anything Jahad Ward and O'Shane Zimenez gave the Giants in the first 3 weeks. And O'Shane Zimenez is not a good run defender. Jahad Ward is, but they're still gonna Jahad Ward's gonna play snaps. Like I expect him to get more than 50% of the snaps. Maybe you give Kayvon and Azeez 60 to 70%. And then you do some 3 outside linebacker sets, and then Azeez will get or not Azeez, O'Shane will get some too. Who do you think is going to be better today, Azeez or Kayvon?
I would say Azeez, because I mean both are just coming back to play, but Azeez also Kayvon's just getting up to game speed because obviously he missed time with the sprained MCL. So I think Azeez will be better. But yeah, I mean both will play more snaps today solely for the fact that it's their second game back, so they should be playing more snaps today. Up, you're muted. You're muted.
Sorry, I'm muted. So everyone last week was super excited for Kayvon Thibodeau and Azeez Ojulari. They're making their return, and then Kayvon making his debut. So this excitement had went down after they didn't have great games last week. But I'm still just as excited to watch those two guys play, and especially against a bad Bears offensive line. Like their pass blocking offensive line. So, and Justin Fields takes unnecessary sacks, so which means those second effort plays can be there. It's not going to be like Cooper Rush where he just get the ball out quick, where even when you do have wins, you're not going to turn those into sacks. So I'm very excited for both those guys. And talking with Robert Smits on the preview pod, talks about how like Justin Fields escapes outside the back of the pocket instead of stepping up, which obviously helps edge production as far as sacks and QB hits and all of that.
Yeah, I'm just also excited because I'm starting the Giants' defensive fantasy today because the Bears are just such a weird offensive team right now. Like they just refuse to let Justin Fields pass the football often. They just rather him use his legs to try and create their offense. So I'll bet it on what our guy Rob Schmidt said, that the Giants' defense could just take advantage of Fields being trying to do a little too much and give me some nice points.
Will Madrid, is Nick Gates coming back? So Dan Duggan put out the report that Nick Gates is going to be activated off PUP last week. I actually talked to Nick afterwards, and I was like, damn, bro, like already? So what the deal is he's going to be able to practice the next 3 weeks, and then there will be a decision on whether to put him on the active roster or just put him on the PUP for the rest of the year. So I wouldn't get my hopes up too much for Gates, but the fact that they're going to let this guy practice, I don't know in what capacity, but it's truly amazing to see him come back this fast from this. I also would tell Giants fans to temper your expectations a little bit. He hasn't practiced football in over a year and has been just rehabbing that leg. So he's still got some ways to go to get ready to be a good football player again.
No, I mean, I was shocked when I read that he was coming off the PUP list. It feels like so soon, but I guess it's been over a year since the injury at this point. But yeah, I have no expectations for Nick Gates to contribute to the Giants this year. The fact he practiced it, I think, is the biggest, just insane to me. That's just with what the situation was looking like when it happened to now. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, and I wouldn't really expect him to get on the field anyways, even if he's cleared, because they signed Felicia, and I guess it'll be a good test for him and the coaching staff. Like they signed Feliciano to be the starting center. Feliciano has probably been the least of the worries on the inside, although not good. Mark Galinsky's not moving to the bench. And then left guard, Bredesen has done better than expected. You have a Zudu there for the long term, and then Shane Lemieux might come back at some point. So I think his spot is still center. Like that's where my long-term goal for Nick Gates would be the starting center at the start of next season. This year, I still this year my goal for Nick Gates is to get back to practice and be able to just practice football. And if they have to keep, use him as a healthy scratch every single week and have him on the roster to do that, then that's fine. That's my goal. That's my goal out of these next 3 weeks where he's allowed to practice before making a decision on adding him to the roster or putting him on PUP for the rest of the year. My goal is for him to be able to be added to the roster just so he can practice football and get hit back to get back to playing football before next year. And obviously he's a free agent, but I'm assuming they can get him to a vet minimum after all that he's been through.
Yeah, I imagine, but just being able to practice and get the reps, because I always thought it was a next year type of situation with Nick Gates. It would build up to next year, and getting these reps now is just helpful than just another year of just basically no true football, team organized football activities.
Yeah. Let's see. Thomas Panicola, do you think Galladay and Slayton will be on the field way more since we are so light on receivers? I do, but Duggan said he expects Galladay, Sills, and Richie James to be the top 3 receivers today. I kind of hate that. I think Slayton should be the guy that's leading the outside wide receiver reps. We've had this Kenny Galladay conversation. I'm not banging on the table for Kenny Galladay to play because I want to see Kenny Galladay play. It's just, but I just don't think David Sills and Galladay being on the field at the same time is a good way to play offense because they're both very slow. They're not going. They're not quick. Like I just want Slayton on the other side. They could play, if they play David Sills 80% more than Kenny Galladay and Slayton's on the other side, I'm happy. We just need some speed on this offense, and Slayton's really the only guy that brings that to the Giants.
Yeah, I mean, like Slayton's still here for a reason. I get they tried to trade him this offseason, it didn't work, but you kept him for now. Utilize him. I know he struggled the past few years, but I agree with you. I think we need the speed. Slated can be that guy. And when him and Jones were on, they were on making some quality plays and making the Giants at least competitive back in their first year in 2019. So just give Darius Slayton some reps. It's so frustrating just keeping him on the sideline.
Even if you look at the last two seasons, 2020 and 2021, Darius Slayton is still your most productive wide receiver on the roster. More so than Kenny Galladay, more so than Richie James, and obviously more so than David Sills, which again, it's not saying much, but I just want some speed out there. Like let's force defenses to have some respect for speed, where right now defenses have no respect for it. And Daniel Jones really isn't going to look on those verticals because he knows, like, he doesn't have any guys who are just going to beat guys one-on-one off the line of scrimmage. There may be some guys who can get deep versus zone, but that's not, that's at that point, like, it's a little too late to pull the trigger on that sometimes.
Yeah.
Unless you're Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes. Bellinger, not Bellinger. Thoughts on tight end play this far? I'm high on Bellinger. I will say the tight end room has done a solid job blocking this year. Like, they haven't blown blocks. There's been some really good reps, but that was my goal for the tight end room as the way it was constructed, was to be good blockers. And then Bellinger has been fine in the passing game as far as, just running his routes the right way and getting open versus some zones. He's not been some guy who's just dominated versus man coverage, but that's what I've always wanted out of my tight end. Obviously, I want them to be some huge advantage, but tight end is a position where I just don't want you to be a disadvantage in any part of the game, and I think that's what Daniel Bellinger has been.
Yeah, no, Daniel Bellinger has been great. I wish we could have seen how Ricky Seals-Jones would have been used in this offense, but obviously Ricky Seals-Jones is no longer on the team. But yeah, I've been happy with how Bellinger has played. And in terms of the block, because that's the one thing the Giants have lacked for years, especially if Evan Engram was like a good block and tight end. And this year they have received good additions from Bellinger, just the tight end room as a whole. Because when this room was shown, I was like, okay, so this is just going to be probably the worst unit on the field. But they've held their own. I've been satisfied.
I just want them to block, basically, is all I want. And him and Myrick have done that. Hudson, they don't really use the block. Here's a trivia question for you, Danny.
Oh boy,
what New York Giants tight end from training camp had a touchdown last week?
Oh, no, this one the name's off.
He was with his former team too.
Fuck. What it wasn't Giants Cowboys, right? Let me just make that clear.
No, he was on another roster.
Was it Evan Engram?
No, actually, but I was saying from this current Giants training camp from this year.
Current Giants training camp. I don't know.
Jordan Akins. He went back to the Texans and scored a touchdown last week.
He went back to the Texans.
Yeah, Brevin Jordan, I think, got injured, so they signed him. Who's Ross? Ross is useless. He's going to be on. Oh, are people talking about John Ross or something? I don't want Alex Bachman back, by the way. He's a slot wide receiver. We're fine at slot wide receiver with Richie James.
And his ego got too big for his own good.
And Alex Bachman is fun preseason, but not good.
He's still a free agent.
Do you think? Yeah, like he should have just signed with the Giants practice squad, dude. Do you think Azudu will get more reps today due to weather and probable run heavy play script? No, I think Azudu's kind of not going to play unless somebody gets injured, because Ben Bredesen, out of the three interior offensive linemen the last 2 weeks, Ben Bredesen's been the best. Now, hasn't been good, but he's been the best, which is very surprising to where, if you would have, took the test, like I didn't even have Bredesen making the team at the start of the season. He was with the third stringers, and then injuries happens to Lemieux. Feliciano's in and out of camp, and even Bredesen got hurt a little bit, and because of injuries, he was made the roster. basically he just had to beat out Max Garcia, and he beat out Max Garcia. Now he's the starting left guard. Does Lemieux come back soon? I don't think so. I think Duggan said he was in a walking boot like just a week ago. All right, get us some questions. We're at what, 15 minutes? We'll go another 50. We're halfway through this. We'll go another 15 minutes. So get us some questions.
So I guess someone said what I read. Someone said do we think if the weather is what it's going to be today, which it won't be, this rain and just heavy wind? Someone says does this play into the Bears' advantage?
I do think it does because, well, like, you know, we're both top 5 rushing teams and bottom passing teams. Like Justin Fields has been actively like destroying his team with his play, where Daniel Jones just hasn't. Besides last week, he was good. The first 2 weeks, he wasn't like actively destroying. I guess he had some bad plays, but basically, Justin Fields. Let me just say this: Justin Fields has been a lot worse than Daniel Jones, and the Bears are the top rushing team in the NFL. One, because they're good, or second best because they're really good. But they are like totally dead. They don't let Justin Fields throw the ball, so they just run. The Giants are, you know, the number 5 rushing team in the NFL because Saquon Barkley is averaging 6 yards per carry, and then Daniel Jones has averaged like 42 yards per game on the ground. So they've gotten to those statistics in very different ways. So I do think this plays more into the Bears. It's of an ugly game.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I mean, I'm intrigued to know why the Bears just are not letting Justin Fields throw the ball as much. But hey, to each their own. It's got them to 2-1, and one of these teams will be 3-1. But yeah, just the Bears. We saw how they played in the first game of the season. They won't be like that in MetLife Stadium, where the stadium was legitimately flooded. But they played well against the Niners. They got a win in just absolute horrible weather. And so if it's raining, the Bears have showed they can win a game like that.
Anthony Loretti, who's been the best linebacker on the team? So it definitely hasn't been Austin Cleature. It's between Tay Crowder and Micah McFadden.
I'll probably say Michael McFadden, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I think I am too.
I have not been a fan of how Tay Crowder has played.
Yeah, I think I'm going to say Micah McFadden too. Obviously, he's had much lesser of a role. And I think if you put McFadden in that Mike linebacker role, maybe the roles are reversed.
Yeah.
But just like, how are you performing? Not thinking about roles and stuff. I think Mike McFadden has been the best, which is frustrating. Can you hear that siren?
Yeah, I did. Where's that going?
It's coming here because I just killed a bear. No, I didn't kill a bear yet today.
Yeah, it might change.
I'm scared rushing D will do without Leo against a running team. We'll see how goated Wink really is. Yeah, I'm very interested to see how Wink Martindale attacks this offense, because I don't know if I want to do the same like stack the box game plan you do versus the Titans, because I think that's how you let Justin Fields make some plays with his arm. But if you truly just think Fields is like just a horrible quarterback, then you can do some of that stuff. But I just think that defense leads to chunk plays over the middle of the field, and I think Fields, as bad as he's been, can make those plays.
Yeah. I mean, we saw last week the effects of not having Leonard Williams out there basically for every snap. This week will probably be more prominent since, like we have said, the Bears run and run and run and run. So, yeah, I will definitely be feeling the Leonard's presence being missed today. Also, can we talk about Tom Rock's tweet? What the hell was he trying to say?
Yeah, he's trying to be funny, and he's not. Can you pull it up and read it?
Yeah, that was supposed to be an attempt at a joke. Wow, that was
I'm tired of people calling him Justin, giving him credit for being funny. He's not funny. He's just he's snarky.
Yeah, all right. He said, barring a set forward, I don't not expect Leonard Williams to be inactive Sunday.
So what's the point of that, dude?
Yeah, that makes legitimately no sense to me. Like, I was like, did he have like a stroke while writing this tweet?
It's like you're just so hilarious, man.
Oh, this is the game in London now.
Oh, come on, Vikings. Dude, I am really bothered that I am not doing great in the spread picks this year.
No, it's bothering me as well. And if Justin wins because the Saints were able just to get Andy Dalton's able to get one good drive in him, and Kirk Cousins does not for the rest of this game, I'm gonna be pissed.
Well, at least you're above 500 and in first place. I just want to be over 5. Like, I don't want to have a losing record. Like, it feels good to have a above 500 record in that, because like, hey, if you did the same thing as I did, you would have made money this year.
Yeah, exactly. You got also a lot right in the other spread league you're doing with the whole John Boy Media thing.
Did they tweet? I don't think they even tweeted that out this week. Let me pull it up. Yeah, I want.
How are you doing in that, by the way?
I'm 1-2, but Trevor Plouffe is in first place. He's in 2-1. Okay, yeah, it just went out. So Justin's 0-3, by the way. Come on,
Justin, you got a Super Bowl trip on the line.
So what I did this week, so I can try and get back in the lead, Trevor Plouffe took the Broncos plus 2.5, so I took the Raiders minus 2.5.
Ooh, good call.
Yeah, I like going against what somebody else is picking. If it's something I believe in, and I believe Patrick Graham and the Raiders will own Russell Wilson, but I also probably will lose that. Let's see. How has Evan Neal been in the run game? Saw some good reps versus the Cowboys. Week 2, he was horrible in the run game. Like, horrible in the run game. Week 3, he actually improved pretty good. So that was good to see. And it was just by doing some basic stuff. It's not like it was just like, oh, the matchup. Like, he was horrible in week 2 because he was taking false steps. So he's been better in the run game. Do you want to guess inactives I guess they're all injured. So it's boring when they're all injured.
It was. It's Tony. Have they put? Is Leonard still like just not like on the injured reserve or anything?
I'll find it right now. No, I think they had him as maybe questionable. Here, I'm gonna find it right now.
I couldn't remember if they officially put him on.
No, he's officially out. He's out. Kadarius is out. Wandale's out. Nick McLeod's out, and Cordell Flott is out.
Yeah. So. Yeah, it's not that hard to figure out. There's probably
I think Aaron Robinson's back today, which is good. Like he was a full participant in practice on Friday, so that's very good to see.
Yeah, it was probably gonna be a backup lineman that's gonna be injured. That's gonna be a healthy scratch, and then who else?
Well, last week they kept all the offensive linemen active for the first time. Who would be the
and I guess if it's going to be a run heavy type script today, might have even them all active again because they're going to need to rely on good old.
Let's look at last week. Let's see who's inactive. This is something that nobody cares about unless you cover the team. Like, nobody actually cares about the inactive list. So last week it was the guys injured. Timon Fox was inactive. So Timon Fox would make sense to be inactive again because you have Kayvon and Aziz back.
Yeah, that makes sense. No need to have Timon Fox.
So I think Timon Fox is just going to be an inactive every single week.
Congratulations,
unless somebody gets
Fox. Thank you for your contributions to the Giants.
Let's see. Thomas Pinnacle. What do we do if Tony has another injury rule this season? I don't know. I'm just kind of over Tony at this point because of the injuries. We talked about it on the mailbag pod, and Carl Banks actually said it too, which is like you just can't rely on him. He's with his injuries, you can't rely on him. So I'm just at a point now where if Tony plays and does good, it's awesome. But I'm just not putting expectations on Kadarius Toney anymore.
No, yeah, I mean, you just can't. Tony's fun when he is healthy, but that's the issue. As we have learned, he's just never healthy, and it's the hamstring. It's so unfortunate, and it was just it. I love Tony. I think he's a funny guy, but it just does feel like it was just such a waste of a draft pick.
He missed 7 out of 17 games last year. 2 of those games he was, the first 2 weeks of the year was not involved in the game at all. This year he plays 7 snaps week 1, plays a good amount week 2, and then week 3 and week 4 are inactive. I'm just done with we're coming into this year. It's hopefully the injuries don't act like last year because he's an awesome player when he's healthy. And then but it's okay, this is year 2 of this. He's just an injury prone player.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
That's a good question. I just saw where would JD, would you put McKinney in the box all day to help versus the run with the lack of pass threat? Yeah, I would, and I wouldn't be afraid to do 3 safety sets with Belton and Love. Like I'd be fine. I know it's not like traditionally like the way they've been doing it, but if you want to go to 2 high, put Belton and Love back there. I know they're not both. Love's not the best deep safety, but this Bears offense is not going to test you really.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to see McKinney in the box more today. But at the same time, you could say, well, you put McKinney deep and he can make an interception. Which, by the way, we have no interceptions this year.
Gotta fix that.
How many teams don't
I
have
would
an
say
interception?
I would say we need one today. Might just not have it. But yeah, unless the Bears show you they are willing to test you deep, just put McKinney in the box. Make them want to test you deep.
Let's see. How many teams don't have an interception? I see 2. Us, the Colts, or us, the Saints, and the Cardinals.
The last change, the Saints have an interception today.
Did they?
Yeah, they Tyrann
Okay,
Mathieu
so
picked off Kirk.
it's just us and the Cardinals.
Fantastic.
That's beautiful. Let's see where we are in yards per attempt, though. $19, so not good. Yeah, I want to get interceptions are one of I think the most fun play in football. By the way, like I love interceptions because, like it's almost always, unless it's just like total quarterback screw up, it's almost always like some of the most beautiful football you see. Whether it's a beautiful scheme triggering a quarterback, or making just an insane play on the ball. Like interceptions, I think are the most beautiful plays in football. Unless it's just like a quarterback just total screw up, which is usually not the case. Like these quarterbacks, as bad as some aren't total like f ups. Like they're also very smart.
Yeah. Oh, the inactives are out.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, Austin Calitros. I saw someone say in the comments. I thought we were getting pranked. Austin Calitros inactive.
Wow.
And Tyree Phillips. So yeah, one backup lineman, but I would not have guessed Calitro.
Hold on, I'm gonna tweet this out.
Yeah, I thought someone said it. Zachary said, I was like, no shot. Austin Calitro's inactive. Turns out Austin Calitro's
Yeah,
inactive.
I mean, so they only have 3 inside linebackers, which I guess they've been doing without Jalen Smith. But okay, so here's my question: why haven't you cut Austin Calitro? There's better linebackers that are on practice squads right now.
Yeah, there's some weird obsession with Austin Calitro. Like you said, I feel like they could probably find someone better anywhere around the league.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that there's better options out there in the NFL right now in practice squads. So why even have them on the active roster?
Hopefully, this is the start of the Austin Calitro is off this team path.
My computer's acting weird.
It's like a tad bit laggy.
I don't know. I'll shut it down when we ended this. Wow. So Austin Calitro, trash ass. I guarantee you they were very pissed off at Austin Calitro for not playing his gap correctly. Brian Dable even he didn't point out Calitro specifically, but they asked him about the run defense, and he's like, well, some of those plays happen because our linebackers didn't play their gaps. And that's been Austin Calitro has consistently been bad playing his gaps this year when he's played. And he essentially got benched after that. I think he played 5 snaps after that, after starting the game, and McFadden doubled his snap count. So they benched his ass.
I'm glad they made Calitro play for just not doing his job. It's like if you're not playing your gaps correctly, you shouldn't be playing right now.
I do kind of want Austin Calitro on the roster because we do play the Jags and Lions, who he's played for, and I want to tweet out the Austin Calitro revenge game tweets on Friday.
Revenge game tweets for one man.
My favorite tweet of the week is revenge games. I can't believe they put Austin Calitro as a linebacker at number 60.
Yeah, Danny kicks a better inside linebacker than Calitro. I could probably give him a run for his money. I mean, he's bigger than
you could at least play your gap.
Yeah, that's probably the most I could do. Tackle.
Like, will the offensive lineman just totally like destroy you? Yeah, but you'd play your gap. Like, we could coach Danny King up to play his gap.
Oh man.
Let's see.
Wandale looked like a terrible pick. Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm not going to get on a rookie for being injured. That's just like a big picture conversation. Like if he gets on, I guess Odell would have looked like a terrible pick after his first 4 games.
Yeah.
Odell kind of was a terrible pick, though, because we could have taken Aaron Donald. So, what
Yeah,
a hell of
true.
a 3 picks in a row. Zach Martin, Odell, and Aaron Donald.
Yeah, that's
Like
just
Zach
a
Martin and
legendary.
Aaron Donald are Hall of Famers. And if Odell didn't get injured, he'd be a Hall of Famer. Just 3 picks in a row, right in the teens, too. It's not like it was top 5 picks. Let's see. Do you think Jalen Smith's staying on the roster the rest of the season? I guess so, right?
Yeah, I think this is where did they say this is like his only practice squad call up he had left?
No, they activated him to the 53-man roster. Like, they didn't even waste any time
Okay.
with practice squad. So I guess that would signal that, like, yeah, no, they want this guy to be a part of the roster.
Yeah, and he should be a part of the roster because Jalen Smith will provide better linebacker play than, like as we said, than Austin Calitro has, and it's clear as day they are not high on Austin Calitro right now that he's in a healthy scratch.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I just think there's got to be better young practice squad linebackers out there than Austin Calitro, who's 28 years old and is bad.
Yeah,
like there just has to be.
Maybe they should call the Minnesota Vikings and see what a linebacker by the name Ryan Conley's up to,
or Chad Surratt, who's with the Jets practice squad right now,
or Tay Davis.
Tay Davis, he's still in the league. Like, he's a big special teams guy, by the way. Those are me and Danny's first recap podcast was Tay Davis was a starting linebacker, versus the Dallas Cowboys, and we weren't even mad at him. Like, I was mad at Alec Ogletree. Okay, who were the 3 worst players on defense in that game, Week 1 game, 2019 versus Dallas? Alec Ogletree, Antoine Bethea, and I know you know the third one.
What's that guy's name? 2019. That's BW Webb was 2018.
Yeah, 2019. Remember, Week 1, we're like, why is this guy starting over DeAndre Baker? Come on, somebody in the chat get it before Danny.
2019 corners, bro. This team has done so much that I can't even remember.
It was Week 1, and we were all like, why is this guy starting over DeAndre Baker? Come on, dude. He gave up like 120 yards.
I mean, there's only. First, I thought it was
Grant Haley did start that game, Zachary, but he was at nickel corner. But that's a good one.
I love me.
Not Valentine, not Ryan Lewis. 2019, guys. Janoris Jenkins was good in 2019, and then he just called someone the R word.
That was.
All right, I'm giving you guys 5 seconds. 5, 4. No,
I have
not
no idea who it is. I'm being honest.
3, 2. Everyone in the chat's going to be so pissed when I say this. Antonio Hamilton.
Oh, I forgot about Antonio Hamilton.
Come on, guys.
No, don't you go be. I'm gonna get back on my high horse.
We basically got every bad corner guessed on our roster the last 3 years before we got we got Sam Beal, Eli Apple,
I will say
Julian Love, Aaron Ross, Valentine.
It was pathetic that we went from so many corners here. It shows how bad our
Week 1 starter was Corey Ballantyne, and he got benched. He got benched for Isaac Yadam, and then Isaac Yadam got benched for Ryan Lewis, and then Ryan Lewis gave up 2 deep passes in fourth quarters, and he got benched for Isaac Yadam, and then Isaac Yadam got hurt, and Julian Love played, and then Yadam. It was cornerback 2 was that's why Patrick Graham's 2020 season was just beautiful. It's like that cornerback 2 situation was just an absolute disaster.
We just need to find good cornerback play because we have had just such mid corners. It feels like since 2018. It all started with BW.
Last year was good. We had Bradbury and Adore.
That's fair, and I guess that was that was like part 2 of the NYPD that started.
That was a really good cornerback group last year. But I'm also like, I kind of agree with Justin. Like, just only use your free agency money to sign cornerbacks, and don't draft corners because it never works. Just always use your free agents money on signing corners. It's always your best bet because it's just such a hard position to translate from the college NFL. It's why as much as I love Sauce Gardner and I had him as the best player in the draft, I was still scared because this guy's a corner. Let's see. All right. We're at 35 minutes. We can go. We appreciate you guys. If you guys want to Sometimes I forget all the little pictures we have in here.
This
was
crazy.
me and Snacks peeing during the draft.
Oh, that was one of the craziest.
This was me dead last year.
Oh, that was you did last year's players. What time are you adjusting waking up next week for the pregame show?
I don't know. I haven't decided that yet, but I think we should wake up early, right?
You have to wake up early.
Yeah.
Go you up by 8.
All right, so we'll be live after the game on patreon.com/Talking Giants, $2 a month if you want to join us for that. If not, the podcast will be out at 8 a.m. on YouTube, earlier than that on podcast apps. Let's win some damn games. Let's beat the damn Bears. So we appreciate you guys. We'll see you after the game. Let's go Big Blue.